Hey, Roger, we spoke with Vince Reinhart earlier this morning. He's a pretty smart guy, too, formerly on the Fed as an economist there. He said the odds of recession have gone up substantially, maybe a third to 40%, because of the actions that have taken place in Ukraine, the higher commodities prices coming out of that. What do you think?
I'd agree with Vincent on that. We didn't talk about it before, but I also think the odds of inflation have gone up. And I would not dispute a 30 to 40% story there for a couple of reasons. One is there are always some odds of inflation anyway.
Secondly, you said odds of recession, I'm sorry, just not to confuse. Odds of recession.
Odds of recession.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I think I have to agree with that as well. Remember yesterday I said the risks on both sides have gone up. And that's an example of what we're talking about. So talk about odds of inflation, odds of recession, absolutely also the same. And it is because of the uncertainty that's come into play. Frankly, also, we see a number of central banks moving to tighten. And so it's not just the U.S., but the Bank of England as well. We'll see what the ECB does. And, though the consumer looks like they're in pretty good shape, the most recent print vis-a-vis retail sales was a little bit disappointing. And so I do think, as I said yesterday, risks on both sides have gone up. So odds of recession, 30 and 40%, I wouldn't strongly disagree with Vincent on that one. Wow, just as we see inflation also going up.
That's a little scary, and both of you have said that pretty calmly. Odds of a recession going up 30 to 40%, it seems pretty extreme, but maybe we should talk about what kind of recession. Recession, in a technical sense, is just two quarters of decline in GDP. So it doesn't necessarily mean a recession like we've lived through recently in 2008, 2001.
You're saying exactly the right thing, Becky. So let's not create a sense that we're going back into the deep, sharp recession that we saw most recently. Not that we're going to a recession, we're talking about the odds of a recession. Secondly, the Fed does have the ability, as we said yesterday, and they said in their statement, to make decisions case by case, meeting by meeting. And the statement was very balanced on that, which is prepared to be nimble. They didn't use those exact words, but prepared to be nimble either way. And the third thing to recognize on this odds of recession, as I said earlier, the Fed does not want to or feel it needs to engineer a recession. This is not Paul Volcker redux. And so they're going to avoid having that 30 to 40% become a reality. But we should be clear, as we said yesterday, the risks on both sides have gone up. To your point, to say that the risk of a recession has gone up does not mean that we should batten down the hatches, expecting the kinds of things that we've seen in terms of really deep traumatic moments. And the Fed does not want that to occur.